that your worst console?
I fucking hate the Wii U, dude.
For me, yeah, that's got to be the worst. The best one for me.
I like it again. Once again, me and Bento disagreeing on shit we like and dislike. I like the Wii U. It's going to be every episode. Bento's just going to rip out my soul. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 3 of the Modern Gaming Weekly podcast. I am the Able Geek, Able himself, and I'm joined today with Bento Box Senpai, Brown Baymax, and now Bearded Jalapeno? The Bearded Jalapeno. And we got some stuff to talk about today, guys. We're going to talk about some handheld gaming. I'm pretty sure we all grew up with handhelds.
Fish.
And so yeah, we want to get into some handheld gaming. So we're going to go ahead and jump into some questions here. Everybody's going to go ahead and take a turn answering these, and then kind of get an insight into everybody's gaming experience with handhelds. So I did want to talk about our first handhelds we ever had. Let's start at the origin, where it all began. We talked about consoles before when we were doing our kind of About Us episode in episode 2. So I wanted to go into more of our first handheld gaming now, and when we got it, what started it off, and kind of go from there. So, Brown, let's go and start with you. What was your first handheld console you ever had?
First handheld console I've had was, I want to say it's the original Game Boy. The one that took 4 AA batteries, and it was the biggest brick out there.
True.
The DMG? Was it dot matrix Game Boy? Is that what it was? I think that's what it was. I always forget the name, but yeah. And how did you get that one, man? You get it for like a Christmas present, birthday? What was?
It was my uncle's. I used to run into his room and walk away with it.
Oh man,
for hours, and then replace the batteries with the TV remote batteries. You know.
Did you walk away with it permanently?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I watch TV?
I don't know.
Yeah,
but that was my first one.
Awesome, man. Yeah. I owned that one. I didn't own it till later, but yeah, definitely a classic. Probably the one that started off handheld gaming and kind of blew up in the late 80s, going into the early 90s. Bearded, let's go on to you, man. What was your first handheld? Do you remember?
So I was sort of a late bloomer. I got in right after the original Game Boy with the Game Boy Color. Both my brother and I had one.
I think that was my first one too. It was the Game Boy Color, as far as Nintendo handhelds. But yeah, definitely a classic one also. And how'd you go about getting that one?
I believe I got it for my birthday. Later on down the road, I got like all the little attachments for it, like there's just like magnifying glass where you can like see it better, and then they have those like light attachments because it was never backlit.
Gotcha. Yeah. And was it the Pokemon craze? Because I know like when I got mine, everybody was jumping on like the Pokemon Red and Blue. Is that right around the time you got yours?
Yeah, having a brother was nice because I could get red and he can get blue, and I can get gold and he can get silver. So it was always a good thing for my parents to get us because it was really, really easy that way.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody was jumping on the Game Boy Colors around that time. Pokemon, I didn't even know really what Pokemon was, and I went and bought the Pokemon Blue with the Game Boy. What was the purple color? I know they had funky color. Was it indigo?
No, it was. Oh my God, what's that? It's the same purple that they used on the N64 controller. I don't remember what it was called.
I know they had atomic purple, but that was the one. It was like clearish purple. But yeah, you like that one?
That colorway was really nice.
Was it the one with Mewtwo on it?
No,
not the. I think the original like 2 colors that came out. They had a solid purple and then like a transparent purple. But I had that solid like dark purple. I could have swore it was indigo. I don't know though. But either way, yeah. So yeah, right on with the Pokemon craze, even till today. And Bento Box, what was your first handheld gaming console?
I'd have to go with the same with Baymax. I had the original Game Boy, and I remember playing Wario World on it, or Wario Land. That was a really, memorable one for me. The way I got it was, I think it was my mom's. I believe it was hers. She was still in college in the Philippines, and she was still raising me. And then I found it, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's
awesome.
so sweet.
Yeah, I could only play with it like probably like an hour a day. Like I remember only that because you know how Asian parents are. School.
I don't, but I'll take your word for it. And like, what was the first game you got for it that you remember playing on that original Game Boy?
Oh shit! It had to be. Is it Mario? The
Is it the
original Mario.
Wario Land, or Mario?
I think Mario. Yeah. Let me see.
The Mario Land games that came out for the Game Boy.
Yeah, Super Mario Land. That one I remember. Also,
Those are pretty good. I really like
like
those, to be
the
honest.
8-bit ones, dude. Like straight
Yeah.
up, that's the farthest I can remember.
Hell yeah. Yeah. And mine, I think for mine, it was probably the Game Gear. I actually got Game Gear before any of the Game Boys. And so I thought I was like the cool kid because I had the cool colored one with nice graphics, but I had to use a power adapter because I think my parents bought me a power adapter shortly after because it was burning through batteries like there's no tomorrow. And if you guys remember, it used 6 batteries, so 6 AA's to power that bad boy, and it would last maybe an hour or two. So definitely had to go with a power adapter, which kind of defeated the purpose because when I had plugged in into the wall. So if you want to have it portable, then you had to load batteries back into it. So, but yeah, and I remember having like Sonic, and I think I had it was a Looney Tunes Roadrunner game, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. And then later on, jumped into the whole Game Boy craze. What is the most anticipated handheld that you would say that you were waiting for, came out, had the biggest hype, and then you eventually got it, Baymax?
Oh, the multicolored Game Boy Colors. When they after they came out with the purple one, they came out with the multicolored, the rainbow color ones, the neon green,
Yep.
the atomic purple one. There was the blue and some other colors. Because I ended up getting the neon green one, hands down, one of my favorite color ones, and I
Yeah.
was super happy about that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. I remember that one. Yeah. So the multicolored Game Boy colors.
Oh yeah,
The
Yeah.
banana
And I
yellow one
remember-
was lit too.
the banana yellow. Yeah.
I remember they even had the Game Boy Pockets too, which I don't know how many colors they came out. I don't think the colors were as cool as the Game Boy
They
colors,
had-
but the Pockets came out right before, I think.
Yeah, so they had what was it? Like a dark blue, a red, the original black, and I think that was it, and a silver one. So
Yeah,
it
I
was
think there
just
was a
basically
silver.
4 colors.
Yeah, but definitely shrunk down in that huge size of that brick that was the original Game Boy. Bearded, what would you say yours most anticipated handheld when you kind of got a hype for and eventually got it?
I really got hyped for the PSP. It was around the time that I got my first job, so that's like the first thing that I really, really worked towards. It definitely wasn't my favorite handheld, but it was definitely the most hyped one I got for it because what was the Final Fantasy game that was on it with?
Dissidia,
No, it was the other one with Alt
Crisis
Cloud.
Core.
Yeah, Crisis Core. I was so hyped for that game. I love the Final Fantasy series, so that was like, oh, I get more story. I need this console. And the discs were really, really cool because they're in those little like plastic casings, and they're like circular.
The
Yeah.
UMDs.
Yeah, the
There you
UMDs,
go.
and you can like play movies on it too with the UMDs.
Yeah, the PSP was such a cool handheld console. Like I wanted one for such a long time, and I didn't get it right when they came out. I actually didn't get it until maybe about 3-4 years back. And now it's more of just like a collector's piece because if I play handhelds, it's usually like the PS Vita. But
Yeah.
you know, the PSP is still one of those ones that I bought because I just always wanted it when I was younger, and it did have some nice games for it. And the movie aspect was really cool. I like the fact that you can play movies on it. But yeah, awesome handheld. And Bento, what was yours, man? What would you say is the most anticipated handheld that you eventually were able to get?
For me, it was the DS, dude, the Nintendo DS, because like I've wanted it for so long, and I remember my mom and I were living in SoCal at the time, and I really wanted it because of Cooking Mama and the WarioWare mini games, dude. And like
Yeah.
I was hella sad that one Christmas that I didn't get it, and my mom like surprised me with it, and I was so happy, dude. Like I would not get off that thing.
Was it the original Nintendo DS that came out, like
Yeah,
the grayish one?
silver one. Yeah.
Silver.
Silver
Yeah.
with the small stylus, and then I remember she bought me the little plastic cartridge cases to protect the games, and I had
Yeah.
like other styluses with it.
The
I still
fat
have
system.
it. Yeah, dude, it looked like a
Yeah,
little,
it was
literal
a
sandwich, bro.
big
I
deal.
actually have one of those sitting on my desk right now. I have the red one.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it was a good one too. To be honest with you, I didn't like the DS when it came out at first.
You didn't?
How
Not sure
dare
why.
you?
I'm not sure why. It just the like dual screen and the touch feature didn't really appeal to me. I was
Same.
still kind of I was like into the PSP kind of style
Large
still,
screen.
Yeah, large screen exactly.
If
But
I could get the most real estate for the screen, that's the handheld I was buying.
right, yeah, exactly.
How
But
dare you?
no, actually, I like it now, and I'm still trying to get a. I have a DS Lite. I have a DSi. I'm still trying to get a 3DS or a 2DS XL, and they've been impossible to find since they got discontinued from Nintendo.
That
I had a
3DS
chance
was
to
a
get
little
one
bit
for like
overboard.
it was. I didn't like the 3D feature, but just the games. Like if I got the 3DS, I would turn off the 3D feature.
Everyone
and-
did.
Yeah, like I played. What was that submarine game that came out? I think it launched with it. I played it at Best Buy for like 20 minutes. I was checking it out, and it just gave me such a headache with the 3D feature. I was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't like it. But
They
yeah.
improved the 3D feature and the new 3DS XL.
Oh, did they?
Because there's a little camera that tracks your eyes and it'll adjust the 3D to your eyes.
It's scanning your face for the
yeah,
AI takeover.
Facebook's got your images now.
Oh well.
Yeah, there's no getting around it.
Yeah.
For me, like the most anticipated one, oh man, I would say probably. I mean, the PSP, even though I didn't get it, I was still hyped for it. I still like one of my friends had it and I played his. I loved it. Just the fact that you got this big old screen, it was like a PlayStation to go. And I remember back in the like late 90s, I kept talking like, man, if only they can get a PlayStation and make it portable with a screen and you could take it around and play it. And then, several years later, then they come out with it. And so I think that was the one I was definitely most hyped for. Yeah. So as far as like best handheld console though that you've played, so getting out of like the hype realm, just based on all the handhelds you have played, what would you say, Baymax, is by far, hands down, the best one you've ever played?
The Neo Geo Pocket.
Okay.
Hands down. Because there were so many games for it. Well, I had the Neo Geo Pocket Color. The clear system. There were so many games. SNK released so many games for it, like Samurai Showdown, Metal Slug, Evolution World, and some other games as well. Gal Fighters, something like that, if I remember right.
Yeah.
There were so many
Yeah,
games.
SNK versus Capcom.
Oh yeah.
Match of the Millennium. It's the only one I own, but I think one of the better ones as well.
But yeah, hands down.
And did you get it right when it launched, or did you pick it up like years later? How did that work?
I picked it up years later when I was living in New York. There was a local game shop that would sell games, and I literally saw it on the wall with 10 plus games on it for like $80. And I literally saved up. I literally saved up all my money during summer and everything. Would I walk and do payments on it because it was one of the systems that I wanted because it was Neo Geo and I saw the games for it. And I ended up getting it that summer and just nonstop played the crap out of that game. It still works to this day. It's just missing a battery cover.
Yeah. Is it the AA battery cover or the other one? Was it the C battery cover?
The C battery cover, I lent it to somebody and they melted the thing to open it up to change the battery. But it's and I'm missing the AA battery cover. I might just get a 3D printed or try to find an OEM one.
Gotcha. Yeah, 3D printing probably the way to go nowadays, unless you can find somebody just has that part on eBay. But that's like finding a needle in a haystack, I think, nowadays. But yeah, I'm a huge Neo Geo fan, so that's pretty awesome. Beardy, what would you say best handheld console by far that you ever owned or played?
That I ever played would probably be the Nintendo Switch, just because I can do so much with it. I put so many hours in that Game Boy Advance, I can't tell you, but I think as far as one that I've enjoyed the most was probably the Nintendo Switch, because it's basically like a big PSP, right? And I really enjoyed that. And the features where you can just take the controllers off and use them by themselves, and being able to play all the old Nintendo games on there too is a plus. There's just a lot more you can do with it. I think it's more versatile than all the other ones.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Brown and I, before we started the podcast here, we're actually talking about that as far as like the future of handhelds and consoles and where it's kind of going. So we'll touch on that a little bit later in the episode. But yeah, Switch, that's not even one I was really considering, but yeah, absolutely, probably the best featured and newest, quote unquote, like handheld/console. So absolutely. And Bento, what would you say your best handheld console that you ever played?
The Wii U. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't you dare.
No, I'd have to agree with Beardy. It has to probably be the Switch because it's just so versatile. And and then they came out with the Nintendo Labo stuff. That was pretty awesome. Not gonna lie, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty
like
innovative.
yeah, like I bought the cardboard set. I mean, I didn't buy it at like full price, but like when it all went on sale, I was like, I'm gonna try it out. Like the whole fishing thing, the whole fighting with robots. Like, dude, it's super user friendly. That's why I think that's probably the best handheld console, like by far.
Hey guys, just a quick interruption here for a quick plug for our Patreon. We do have a Patreon available if you enjoy the podcast and you want to support it. You can actually visit us at patreon.com/Modern Gaming Weekly. We do have 3 tiers available for support, and all profit goes right back into the podcast to bring you weekly episodes and to provide more and better content. So you can get early access to episodes, get mentioned in the YouTube Patreon episode credits, suggest topics for the show, as well as get behind-the-scenes photos and videos of the homemaking process here of the podcast. It's pretty interesting. So please check out the Patreon. It is greatly appreciated by all of us here at the show, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. Thank you. Yeah, it's a great one. I remember my brother's a big Nintendo fan, and he got the that stuff before I even had my Switch, and I was so confused at first. I was like, "What is this cardboard stuff that you're buying? Like, what is all this?" But it's actually pretty cool. He let me use it, the like 3D goggles or whatever they were, and it was pretty legit. I don't know if I'd buy it personally for myself, but to be able to use it, it was pretty interesting. Baymax, you don't think so?
Do you have an opinion?
I mean, like
Baymax is shaking his head at me over here.
$60 for cardboard. Might as well go to Home Depot, buy.
It's not just cardboard cardboard. It's Nintendo cardboard. It's magical cardboard.
They could have done better with the basic the Labo stuff. They could have done what was that type of wood that you could have just no that's too heavy. But it's thin enough it's thin enough wood that they could have used for it to build upon it. Yeah. But they went with cardboard, and you're like, okay, what happens if somebody comes in, spills water? Oh no, it's ruined.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it wasn't perfect, right? But it was a great idea to get the conversation started into some later technology that they could produce for that, almost like an alpha or a beta kind of project.
Right.
But we haven't seen anything new on it yet.
That's the Switch Pro is around the corner.
I don't want to hear about the Switch Pro.
Oh man.
It's going to be reinforced cardboard this time.
Oh my god.
It's going to be 4-wall.
It's called the Switch Blade.
I don't even want to hear about a Pro yet. I just got my Switch like 6 months ago.
Yeah, for sure.
I got mine during launch, so I'm ready for a Pro.
I took a break from Nintendo. I took a break from buying like Nintendo stuff at launch after the GameCube, but I think I'm going to start up again. I kind of fell off with the Wii and Wii U and Switch, even though I eventually got a Switch. But I think I'm going to start getting future Nintendo consoles right around launch, maybe a few months after. But
I mean, to be fair, none of the prices of Nintendo usually go down that substantially. So whether or not you get it at launch or not, it's still going to be the same price.
yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like Nintendo's the Apple now of the gaming world.
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
I mean, it
Their
holds its
value never goes
value.
down. Yeah, dude, it's like a Subaru, dude.
it's like a
No matter how old that shit is, it's still gonna be $300. Like,
Because look at the 3DS. It's hard to get, and the 3DS XL is like $200 and something.
and like,
Like,
when did it come out?
that came out like 2012 or something like that, or
Shit.
2013.
10 years ago.
Yeah,
Dude, like,
that's
and
very
it's
true.
and it holds its value. Like, people, the moment you put, like, let's say a 3DS up on like Facebook Marketplace, you have like 10, 15 different DMs. They're like, I want it now, and I'm like, okay. But yeah,
Yeah.
no.
What other kind of DMs are there?
But yeah, for sure. And let's go ahead and touch. This is like an old, I guess, older handheld. I don't think they make anything Tiger Electronic anymore. You can correct me if I'm wrong if you know Baymax. But Tiger Electronics back in the day would come out with these handhelds, and you would see them for like almost every movie, cartoon show, TV show. It seemed like whatever there was out there, they had Tiger Electronics, some kind of handheld game for it. And, and it graphically wasn't that impressive. Usually they were like black and gray or like black and white style games, but they had a ton of them out there, and they're somewhat, I guess, collectible today. Some people collect them. I usually don't touch them unless I get a great deal on them. Did you ever own any Tiger Electronics, Baymax, or did you play any growing up?
I had the Power Rangers one, and then I had the Sonic 3 one. That's the only ones that I remember truly playing. I know they had a Little Mermaid and
Oh
some
yeah,
other
sure.
ones.
Yeah.
I know they had X-Men, Little Mermaid, I think, and then the Sonic. But yeah, like,
You also had Double Dragon, I think.
I think so. I don't remember the Double Dragon one, but I used to own the Sonic 3 one guaranteed.
And Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I remember Mortal Kombat. I think Street Fighter too. I mean, it was horrible
Yeah,
compared
they had
to
a
like
lot of them.
playing it on like the action, like Super Nintendo, but
They're like the Happy Meal of freaking gaming systems.
the Tamagotchi of handhelds.
Yeah.
But it was interesting, and it was like a cheaper way to be able to play some of these handheld games. There was a few that I liked. Me and Baymax were talking about earlier. I had a Bucky O'Hare, which I think is kind of collectible today, and also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles basketball, which I'm convinced is still very playable today. That game was the shit. I kept trying to beat my high score over and over. I had so much fun playing that one. I think that those were really the only two that I owned, and then I had friends that would lend me theirs here and there. But did you own some also, Beardy?
No, I actually never got into that, but I did have a friend that let me borrow one time. It didn't really hook me. Like, at that time, we had the Super Nintendo, and that was way more graphically interesting than any of those handhelds were for me.
Oh, sure, yeah, definitely. And how about you, Bento? You ever get into any of the Tiger Electronics?
I had a few friends that had it. It wasn't like something that I asked for. I would just play with them usually. But I remember one of them that I had very vaguely was the 2XL robot, the one that played the cassette tapes. I remember having that as a toy. Yeah, and the Talk Boy too.
Oh,
but that's
dude,
about
Talk Boy from
that's as far as Tiger Electronics as I go, bro.
the Home Alone Talk Boy.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
I think it's still in my storage with my memorabilia stuff.
Hey, bust it out on stream one day, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
Credit card, you got it. Dude, I still remember that movie. Oh man. All right, so yeah, I mean, Tiger Electronics is, it's one of those things. It's kind of like classic now when you look at certain video game shows when they go into the history of gaming. Tiger Electronic handhelds usually have their own separate space there, and like I said, they're kind of collectible, but you really have to be into them or have nostalgia for it. To me, it's not one of those things that sticks out like the original Game Boy or Game Gear, any of those.
Exactly.
And that leads into the next thing I wanted to talk about is the Game & Watch consoles, because those also are pretty classic, and now they're remaking them. We have the Mario Brothers one that came out not too long ago, and now Zelda, as of the recording of this episode, is up for pre-order now. But what do you think about those, Baymax? Did you ever own any of the original Game & Watch? And do you
No.
plan to get any of the new ones?
So I never owned any of the original ones. That's actually on my list on to buying for my collection. Like I want to still get the original Game & Watches, and I still want to get like Donkey Kong, Mario, and so on. Because like I said, those are on my list. But I do plan on getting the Legend of Zelda one, hands down,
Yes.
from work. Because it comes with basically it comes with its own version of a Game & Watch game. It comes with I want to say the Adventure of Link, the second game for Legend of Zelda,
Yes.
and it comes with Link's Awakening, and Link's Awakening has a special place in my heart, so I have to get that, hands down.
Yeah, classic. Yeah, definitely some classic games on there. Adventures of Link, it's one of those I kind of grew to appreciate later on. I didn't like it when it first came out. I wasn't a fan, but playing it later in life, yeah, I definitely liked it. I like trying to speed run it. One of my buddies actually almost cracked the top like 10 speed runs of all time, and then just whiffed it right at the end and felt like
Womp womp.
fell like way behind. So it wasn't even like a top 20 or 25, I think, after he whiffed it. But yeah, I think I'm going to get it too. I wasn't too interested in the Mario Brothers one. And I thought at first maybe that's the only one they would have came out with. But now that they're, coming out with the Zelda and possibly more after that, yeah, I think I'm going to pick the Zelda one up for sure. And then we'll see what comes out after that. I was telling Baymax earlier that if they could come out with like a Donkey Kong or the Popeye arcade machine one, I would love to get one of those.
Oh, dude, I think the Donkey Kong one would do so well.
I think that's a possibility. Popeye, I don't know, but Donkey Kong probably for sure.
Come on, Popeye and his great.
Bento, did you ever own any of those classic ones, or do you plan to get in any of the new ones?
No, I never did, but I remember playing the Donkey Kong one when I used to live in the Philippines. I actually do want to get the Zelda one that's coming up because that one looks really, really good. And also the Game & Watch Ball too. I remember playing that very vaguely. I could just sit there and play that all day. As boring as it sounds.
Catch a ball over one hand, catch it in the other.
Some people would call that Pong. Is there a game, Bento, that you'd want to see come out, one of the new remakes of the Game & Watch?
Probably Donkey Kong. Yeah.
Donkey Kong? Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Yeah.
I think we're going to see it. I think that would probably be one of the next ones. Yeah, I think so. I think it's perfect because they could do like a Donkey Kong Jr. and then even throw the updated version they had for I think it was Game Boy or Game Boy Color, where Mario could do his somersaults and stuff like that. It was a lot more interactive and I think more strategy based, just because you would get this key and you had to move a key from one side over to like a locked door. So a lot more elements to it. And I think if they threw like those three games on it, it'd be really cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And Beardy, how about you? Ever own any of those or plan to get any of the new ones?
I vaguely remember the Game & Watch game, but I don't think we actually owned it. I think a friend of ours had it and we kind of just borrowed it for a little while. But I definitely remember some of the levels when I was doing the research on it. But as far as
you think you'll get any of the new ones?
Again, probably not.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. And when the first one came out, I thought it was kind of gimmicky because I'm like, you can play Mario Brothers anywhere, and probably with Zelda too. But I'm a big Zelda fan, probably more so than Mario. And so yeah, I think that's what sucked me in is just the title. They got me. They got my wallet. They did it.
Nintendo has a nice grip onto your wallet.
Yeah, I do. I have a lot of grip on a lot of things that I won't say on the show. And then now how about Baymax, just cycling back to some of the handhelds we never had. Is there one that you never had but always wanted to own, like even to this day you haven't been able to get it?
Like as in for like a Game & Watch or a
no handheld console, like any of the ones
handheld.
yeah,
I think it would be the Coleco the little Coleco or little arcades. Well, they were called ColecoVisions. So they had what was it? They had the Pac-Man, the original Pac-Man. They had super no, it was Donkey Kong, the little blue arcade one, and I think that's the one that I wanted the most. Like I used to own it, but it's one that I want the most, like real bad till this day. I know they had the Frogger one and Donkey Kong Jr. and so on, and Popeye and Snoopy, but hands down, I think the Donkey Kong 1981 one is the one I want. The tabletop mini.
Right on. Are those hard to find, or like can you eBay those, or
You can eBay them, but they usually run between like 99, either from $99 to up to $350, depending on the condition and if it has the original box with it.
Yeah. And are you going for like original box, or just want the system and you'll be happy with that?
Oh, I just want the system.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it comes with a box, hands down, sure. Yeah, perfectly fine. Just give me the
But not
system.
breaking the bank for it. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Beardy, is there a handheld that you never owned but still would like to get to this day?
Not really. I really honestly loved all the handhelds that I've owned, and the ones I haven't owned, I haven't used, so I don't really have an opinion on whether or not I would want them or not.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely get that. And did you have a good amount of them growing up? Like, did you get like the mainstream ones, like the Nintendos and the PlayStation
pretty
ones?
much. Yeah, the GameCube or the Game Boy Color, the PSP, the Switch, and Game Boy Advanced. Yeah, Nintendo pretty much had a hold on my wallet too, or my parents' wallet, which
There you go.
be.
Yeah. All right. And then Bento, is there one that's escaped your grasp so far that you still want to get? Maybe eBay it one day?
Honestly, it has to be the PSP, dude, because I've never owned one of those. I've only played with my friends, and it's hard to find a PSP that's whole and works.
Good shape.
Most of the ones that I've seen that like they need repairs, or like they're missing a back cover, or like they're missing a trigger. I'm like, bruh.
Tell
me one that works.
I got you, homie.
I mean, one day I'll end up getting one, but yeah. Also, I'm still kind of salty from losing my cinnamon red Game Boy Advance SP. Still salty to this day. I left it in a Burger King bathroom.
Oh, the old Burger King bathroom story.
Yeah, we've all been there.
I hate that the most. That's the thing that will always stick with me. And I went back and it was gone. And I was like, no.
That's because
you made some 39-year-old crackhead happy. Don't worry.
Probably.
Ended up in a pawn shop later that day.
Cinnamon red, dude. I love that color.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I don't remember seeing that one, but yeah. Sometimes those red handhelds or consoles just pop. The red, I always wanted to get the red Wii. I think it's the Wii Mini.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was the little red console. It's literally super small, and it was just one that you load the game through the top, and it wasn't. It was like a small PlayStation.
I don't even think it had like Wi-Fi capability or anything like that. It was just kind of stripped down. But I know it's not a handheld, but yeah, that's one that stood out to me when he was talking about red consoles. That one I always wanted to get just because it was red.
You can always make it into a handheld. Just saying.
Yeah. I don't know how, but maybe Baymax could do that for me one day.
Oh, give me a Dremel.
For me, I mean, the PSP was one, and also the PS Vita. I ended up getting those years later, and I was really happy I did. It was, and I agree with like Bento, it was so hard to find them in good shape. PSPs especially are garbo a lot of times. You find them, and
if you drop that thing, man, you were fucked.
Yeah,
that is
definitely wasn't the most sturdiest.
Not sturdy. Yeah.
What, the PSP?
Yeah.
That thing was sturdy as all hell. I dropped mine before and nothing happened to it.
Damn. No,
mine you're luckier than most.
Yeah, dude.
I remember so many swollen batteries in there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, the batteries, hands down, was the most garbage thing of just swelling up. I used to take apart in the modding scene, to make a Pandora battery. I had to open up one of those batteries and take out one of the little pegs. But yeah, no, hands down. I mean, they were kind of somewhat bulletproof. The original PSP, the 1000. Now, when you go to if you go to the 2000 and so on, when it gets thinner, then no, yeah, you drop that thing, it's gonna shatter that screen
when you lose the girth. But I think it was the 2000 and 3000 models had the port to connect to your TV though, right? I think that's what the 1000 was missing.
No, the 1000 had it, if I remember right.
Yeah,
because it was during. No, it didn't have an HDMI mini.
Oh, okay.
It had some weird proprietary port. I know that it was from Sony. You know how they always do their
stuff. That goes up right under the system. Through the headphone jack and some other thing. It's like this weird headphone jack type combination that Sony had, but where you just plug it into this little dock and you could project it onto the screen. If I remember, the 1000 had it because it was on an update. It was on an update itself, and then a lot of people didn't have the dock for it, so it never mattered.
Yep. So I mean, I ended up getting those. I would say one that I still want to get, or two rather, want to get an Atari Lynx at some point. Those one that just, I probably wouldn't play it, but just for, collecting reasons would want the Lynx. And then the other one would be the either the 3DS or the 2DS XL, one of those, just to have them and play some of these newer games that have come out.
They're still making games for that thing?
I don't know if they're making games, but there's a lot of games that came out, I think, in recent years that I've missed out on, like some of the Metroids and Zeldas and all those. So definitely want to jump into those at some point. We'll see. Maybe here at a Classic Game Fest, I can find one.
I'll help you find one.
If anybody can find a bargain, it's these two.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Look at my Mario Party games. I spent in total, I spent $40. The games are like $60 plus games. I'm like, I ain't spending $60, but I'll spend $40.
Boys drive a hard bargain.
Hey, you got to save a little bit of money somewhere.
Shit, you can sell rubber to a monk.
Baymax tells him, I have $2 and a Casio watch.
Hey, some Casio watches are expensive.
Yeah, dude, like the calculator one? Shit.
Oh, yeah. The one I used to cheat in school with.
I'm hella weak.
What I was going to say. Yeah.
So like,
the cheater watch.
Let me use my calculator.
Cheating. Now everybody's got a calculator on their phone.
Yep. Now you just got to just hover your phone over the problem. It'll solve it for you.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to do that. You could just use the Apple Watch and put the notes right on your Apple Watch.
Right.
Yeah. And then, so let's go ahead and wrap it up here with a few more questions. I want to talk about what you guys think about the future of handhelds. Because like Beardy was mentioning earlier about the Switch being one of his favorites. It seems like that's the direction we're going now, is we're not going to really see handhelds from like PlayStation or Nintendo, but it's going to be kind of a mix between maybe console and handheld, at least with Nintendo. We'll see what we get maybe from Sony and Microsoft in the future. But Baymax, what do you think about the future of handhelds? Do you think we're going to still see them as they were in the past, or more of like a Nintendo Switch?
We're probably going to see more like a Nintendo Switch. I mean, Nintendo pulled it together and finally released a console that's basically a home console and a portable console. So they're probably just leading the example for everyone. It's not just home console itself. People could go out and take this console everywhere with them while they travel, or they're basically just so they're not basically bound to one TV. They could go on and so on. It's like what was it? Sony pulled out of for handheld consoles. We haven't seen a handheld since Vita, and that was in 2011. Was a while back, yeah, I think in 2011, that's when it came out. And we haven't seen a handheld console from them for years. And we never seen a handheld console from Microsoft whatsoever. So you
Yeah.
never know. You never know with that, but I mean, hopefully we'll see something from them soon.
It's a little disappointing. I've always wanted to see a handheld come out from Microsoft. I don't know if they just didn't want to get into that war of handheld gaming, but that'd have been cool to see. I have a picture like the what was that? One that came out from was it a Razer or Nvidia that came out? I think it was Nvidia that came out with that handheld, right?
The Shield.
The Shield. I always pictured maybe like Microsoft would come out with something kind of like that style, that design. But I guess we'll never know because I don't think they're going to jump in it now.
Yeah.
Razer kind of had the thing too with like the phone, but I've heard of people that like have the phone and they're like very mixed reviews about it.
Oh yeah, the gaming phone, right? The Razer
Mhm.
gaming phone. Yeah, I thought about that one, and I was like, what games am I really going to play on my phone? Yeah, I just don't. I know there's some people. There's some games that get into. I've got into a few, but not enough to really invest in an actual, quote unquote gaming phone. So I don't think it'd be for me. Beardy, what do you think? You think we're kind of just heading towards like Nintendo Switch style handhelds now?
Well, I think Nintendo really set a precedent with the Switch being a home console system as well as a system that you can take outside. So I think the other two, Sony and Xbox, really have to consider whether or not they want to be home systems that put out a handheld every now and then, or do what Nintendo's doing and make a console that can do both. I think Sony and Xbox have really doubled down in recent years, being solely a home console. And I think they're both fighting that battle while Nintendo's just kind of sitting in the background with popcorn, like, we do both.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think at this point, I think Nintendo, kind of going back to the Wii U and then kind of evolving now into the Switch. I feel like they've kind of just put a nice strong foothold in that market. So, we didn't see anything like that with the PS5 or the new Xbox. Those are just strictly home consoles, and it doesn't look like they're going to come out with handhelds anytime soon again. So I think maybe they're just playing their cards and what they've done in the past with the console market, and and Nintendo's doing their own thing. But yeah, I mean the Switch is popular because it is unique in that perspective. So yeah, I think if any of these other companies did try to kind of pivot from where they're at, I think they would have difficulty competing against Nintendo with that. Bento, what do you think? Do you agree with me or?
Yeah, honestly, I'd have to agree with the whole Nintendo craze because, like, honestly, like, just to think about it, like, PS5 or Sony and Microsoft are more on like the graphics side of games, like shaders, the beauty of like how you're gonna play the game, and like everything looks so cool and edgy, and like
But it's not as good as
Nintendo's, yeah, like Nintendo's over here like, yo, this shit's portable.
you want some cardboard?
You want some cardboard?
You know,
We got all the
like,
cardboard.
yeah,
Lumber
like
prices.
like you guys are saying, and like Abel was saying, that Nintendo really put that foot through the door, and they were like, hold up, hold my beer, let me show you something. Like, they've really made it like a family friendly, like, portable system that you can even
Yeah.
play. Like, I've seen kids at the restaurant, they're like, oh, here, you want a controller? And they're playing Mario Kart, and I'm like, dude, I remember when I used to want to, like, mom, can we go home? I want to go play video games. Like, and now
Yeah.
you just see
Can we
kids
invite
playing at the
Jimmy over?
restaurant, dude. Right? Like, but I also feel like for the future of handhelds, like, there's also a disconnect,
Yeah.
is the whole experience of like having your friends come over and like, hey, come out, hang out with me, come to my house. It's more like, hey,
Yeah.
let's go meet up at a Starbucks and we can go play games over here.
Let's
Yeah,
let's
but I think
connect
Nintendo
everyone.
did that really well, where you're able to play with other people more so than the consoles, because the consoles just allow you to sit at home on your couch while your other five friends are sitting on their couches at home. Whereas
Right.
the Nintendo, although not a huge, platform for people to come over and play, it has that ability if you bring it with you.
Right.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think they're headed in the right direction. We'll see. They're definitely very innovative. I'd say that. And then just kind of touching on that, because a lot of people are, when you look at younger kids nowadays, maybe they have the Switch, but if not, then they're usually like gaming on a tablet or a cell phone or something like that. And that market has grown over the last 5 to 10 years. there's a lot more games now on mobile phone. I remember on a flip phone, playing like Pac-Man in color, and I was amazed by it like 15 years ago. Now,
Or like Snake
that's nothing. Or Snake back in the day. Yeah,
on
my
your
first cell
Nokia.
phone had Snake. So handheld consoles versus like traditional handheld consoles versus like gaming on mobile phones. Baymax, what do you think? Do you think there's a future there for gaming on mobile phones going forward, or do you think this is something that's dying out or coming to an end?
I mean, it could be dying. Like, I mean, it's basically a hit and miss with that one actually, because it could be dying out, and then one game comes out and it revives everything. So
Yeah, like
it all
Pokemon
depends.
Go.
Exactly, like Pokemon Go. Like people were wanting something new to play, and the moment Pokemon Go came out, everyone was being active and actually walking out of their house and actually
Getting their phone
walking.
stolen.
Getting
Oh,
their
true.
phones-
Getting your phone stolen,
Yeah.
But I mean, it was getting people more active with things.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. And Nintendo jumping into the mobile market now with, like Mario Kart and, Pokemon Go. And, I think that might keep it alive. I know there's people that are into like the mobile gaming games that are out there. A lot of them exclusive to like Android or Apple, whatever it may be. Personally, I'm not too into it. There's been a few games that I've gotten into, but I usually fall out of them pretty quickly. But it's definitely an interesting topic. I think it's something that'll stick around as long as big developers are kind of pushing into it a little bit too to get some of that market. I think we'll still see growth. What do you think, Beardy? Is there any that you've played, Beardy, or do you think there's still a long future for these games on mobile phones?
So I think they're going to start merge. I think they're going to start vibing off each other, right? You have Pokemon Go now on the phone, and then so I think now that the mobile technology is strong enough to accommodate these games, they're going to start going back and forth until even Sony and Microsoft are going to be in that area where like, hey, should we start catering more games to this platform because people are on their phones all the time, so why not grab a piece of that pie, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and I think for gamers that just like playing games on the go as well, if you can, scratch that Final Fantasy itch or Mario Kart or whatever
Yeah.
it is on the go, and not have to take a Switch somewhere, but maybe they're in class and in college or something, or on break at work, and they just want to do a couple quick games of Mario Kart. They have that ability.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's a great point. I think that can keep it alive and keep it progressing.
Yeah, and I think Nintendo's going to do really good with that based off all the stuff that we said. They're really good with interactivity, having people interact with their games, not just the game itself, but interacting with other people and other players. So I think they already have a solid foothold in that market already.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think we'll see it continue to expand. I think some of these companies that kind of want to get a piece of that pie, they realize, especially a great point you brought up about the processing power now these phones have. They can definitely handle it, and then some do have like integrated graphics now that are matching, what PCs were able to do a few years back. So it's getting closer and closer as far as
basically
that gap.
a mobile laptop now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Once those processors and everything get smaller, we're going to start integrating those big, heavy games into our phones.
Yep. Pretty soon you'll have a 3090 fitting in a little chip in your phone.
It's going to be $100,000 because it's going to be non-existent. Scalper's going to make it $100,000.
I'm downloading shaders on my phone.
Yeah.
Oh God,
God,
no.
not on my phone. That'd be the worst.
Betsy, you want to finish this up with that one? What do you think on mobile gaming?
Mobile gaming has come a pretty long way because, like, I hate to say, I used to play COD Mobile for a while before I got my PC. Hey. And now I'm like on Facebook and I'm seeing like all these like all these like Facebook streamers are like playing COD Mobile, and I'm like, you guys are using a PC to stream COD Mobile? Why don't you just use your PC to play COD? Sometimes it baffles me. It's like then they got their like cool little like thumb gloves and they're like playing claw, and it's just crazy. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna play COD, just play it on your PC, please, for the love of God.
Yeah. Personally, I feel like that about a lot of games. If you want to play it, just play on your PC. If you're at a restaurant, eat your food.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Don't spend time with your family. Don't be like playing a match before you get your food. Like, spend time
Yeah.
with your family. Spend time with your kids.
Close out Plants vs Zombies and take a picture of your kids and
Right.
and be a human for 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the disconnect that I was talking about earlier.
So you're gonna take care of Miko Rodrigo Brown Geek?
I will. Yeah, that's for people that don't know. That's mine and Baymax's Twitch baby, which he's 3 months back on child support. But that's for a later episode. So,
I'm the one who's taking care of it.
but I want custody. No. And then let's go ahead and wrap it up with the final question. Simple one: best versus worst handheld. What is the worst handheld you've ever played? The Garbo of Garbo, and then what is the best? The one that you can take out, you can play anytime, and time again. It's still your favorite, Baymax.
Worst. Oh,
You want to go first, Bento?
Bento, you can go first if you want. We've been going in counterclockwise, so we can.
I want to get this out of my chest. The worst
for it,
one
Bento.
has to be the Wii U. Honestly, it's like, why would you go halfway between a Switch and a TV? It's like,
True.
it's like, dude, the screen is like as small as almost like a DS Lite, and then
No, the screen
you're playing.
was pretty big.
Was it? And it's touchscreen. I get
the
it, but then
controller,
you still need the TV to play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like a Game Boy Advance and a TV had a baby.
Right. It's like, just choose one.
Like those '90s movies where they're trying to be all futuristic and they have those like giant ass iPad things.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it feels like. One of those clunky pads that they're trying to make futuristic, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
I love.
So is that your worst console?
I fucking
That's-
hate the Wii U, dude.
For me, yeah, that's got to be the worst. The best one for me.
I like it again. Once again, me and Bento disagreeing on shit we like and dislike. I like the Wii U. It's gonna be every episode. Bento's just gonna rip out my soul, but I like the Wii U just simply because I like kind of like obscure consoles and stuff, and I feel like the
Mhm.
Wii U was kind of like that bastard child that came out and didn't get the kind of like the Sega Saturn. It was kind of like Sega Saturn's there, but so is N64 and PlayStation. But I always had that soft spots for the Saturn. I don't know, maybe because I'm like the black sheep of my family. Maybe
You like
that's
the
why.
underdog.
I like I like a good underdog story. But go ahead, Bento. I'm sorry.
No, but
So what's your
I
best?
digress.
the best one still has to be the Switch. It still takes the cake for me, dude. Like everything. I mean, come on, like it's touch screen. First off, it's portable. You can play anywhere with anyone. So like, I mean, like I said, and like Beauty said, like it literally takes the cake.
Well, I can't watch Netflix off of it.
Well, you
Yeah.
can actually.
Nope. Netflix didn't come out with an app for it. Did they already? I remember that was
I mean, I was able
biggest
to when
that was
yeah.
the biggest complaint out there.
I think
There's
you
no
can now.
Netflix.
I've seen some kids watching stuff on there, dude. I mean,
That'll be
don't take my
Hulu.
word for it, but like,
That's
Like
that's
a
that
Hulu
AliExpress switch. that opens as the jailbroken
The SWAT.
or
It's
not
not the
jailbroken,
Switch.
rooted Android operating system on it.
It's not the Switch. It's called the Swatch.
the
The
Swatch.
Oh man.
So it looks like you can get Netflix on the Switch. It just takes a little bit of know-how as far as technology. It's not as easy
No.
as just downloading.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying there's no app for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to like work a little magic on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Voodoo.
but interesting that his favorite and least favorite were one generation apart Nintendo consoles. It's like
Your
from the
Wii been
worst
showing.
Wii U to which the best. Okay, and since we're going now we're going counterclockwise. Go ahead and
You
Beardy.
evil.
No, we're going counterclockwise now.
Oh.
So, Brady, what's your worst console that you never
Worst.
liked?
The Wii U.
Oh
Okay.
my
Best
god.
console. I'm against that thing. It was so dumb. I hate it.
Another scar on my soul. It's okay.
Best would have to be the Switch for all the things Bento said, as well as it sets like a precedent for their next generation of console because they've trial and errored so many things in this version that I think a lot of the stuff that they tried in this variation of their console will be even better in the next one.
No, Beardy and Bento copying each other's work. It's all right.
Adding on to, okay, I put an addendum on his work. I said, hey, can I copy your answers, but make them better?
You have to get one wrong on purpose. All right.
So what about you, Brown Geek?
Brown Geek Max?
I was trying to say that.
Inventing new names. Okay. Now, for me, no, I definitely agree with Bento and with Beardy as far as the best being the Switch. Just because I think, it being portable, it is, still considered a handheld, and it's very innovative, has a lot of great games on it. But I just want to change up my answer to kind of go more of a like classic retro, answer. And for me, it would have to be the PS Vita. Just because the PS Vita it did have a good selection of games, has a good online store. Graphically, I mean, it was like having like a portable PS3 with you. It was very good graphically. Screen was awesome. And then the one I got, I found one in like pristine condition. It took forever, but I found one in such good condition. And to me, it was almost like a better PSP. It was like the PSP was kind of like they tested the waters and then just improved on it. I don't like all the proprietary stuff that Sony does, like with their connectivity ports and their godforsaken memory cards. But everything else, I think they hit the nail on the head. So I'd have to go with the Vita. As far as the worst, I would have to go with the Game Gear. Even though it was my first and I felt graphically it was good at its time, I couldn't play the damn thing because of the batteries. When you need a power grid just to power a handheld console. It kind of takes away from the experience. And then also the problem with the capacitors as well. I have 2 dead Game Gears now that don't work. They have to be recapped. So, it was just like it had a death sentence as soon as it was made. So I would have to say the Game Gear.
It's a handheld that ties you to the wall, which defeats the purpose of a handheld.
Yeah.
Literally facing the wall while you're playing it.
And nobody puts Abel in the corner. Yeah, so I mean, then just at that point, play your Sega Genesis. So
very true.
All right, and Baymax, what's yours?
Best console.
Best
handheld console for me would have to be the Neo Geo. I mean, hands down, it's still like one that I love to death. Like I could still pick up and play all the time, even when I'm laying in bed. I could pick up and angle the screen towards the light because there was no backlit screen to that.
True.
But yeah, or the worst console for me would have been Wii U. No, the N. So because my cousin had the N-Gage.
Wow, dude!
N-Gage
unlocked a memory for me.
The N-Gage.
Oh,
don't get me wrong.
God.
It was cool and portable, but to play games on that little tiny screen and playing stupid COD on that little screen and trying to turn and you're getting murked left and right and you're like, Or the Sonic port for that game sucked ass so bad.
Wasn't it made by Ericsson, Sony Ericsson, right?
I don't remember.
No, Ericsson was made by Sony, but no, the N-Gage was made by
Tiger
Nokia. Tiger should have been Tiger Electronics, but
I was so hyped for it. It just graphically, like it was maybe a little too soon. And I mean, I still want to get one to collect it, but I wouldn't enjoy playing it, that's for sure. Especially today. I don't think it aged well. But
try playing Sonic on it. It's like pulling teeth. Like the Game Gear was faster than the N-Gage.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, crazy, man. And then I can imagine trying to make calls on that thing was probably ridiculous. Putting it's like putting a Game Gear up to your head. Not quite as big, but You still probably looked a little funny, unless you're like 12.
True.
Yeah, no, and I agree. As far, the best one that you mentioned being the Neo Geo Pocket, that would have been my best if it just had a backlit screen. That's all it needed. That's so
A
much
lot of those
nostalgia.
handhelds needed backlighting back then. Not gonna lie.
Mhm.
So much
But it would-
nostalgia for that one, but yeah, it just needed the backlight.
But don't forget, back then, batteries. Everyone was using batteries. There was no rechargeables whatsoever
That's right.
Yeah.
until they started coming out with rechargeables, and they're like, okay,
You
That's
imagine how
when-
much faster those things would have died if we had backlighting.
exactly.
Yeah.
Have you ever put a backlight on a Neo Geo Pocket?
No.
It burns through AA batteries like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah,
Shit.
it's probably the only reason they didn't do it.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
I hope
But,
gamers are daytime people.
Yep.
Had to be a daytime gamer for that.
Yeah.
no, you could just turn on a regular light or grab a desk lamp and just aim it towards the stupid screen.
Or
Should've
when
just
you're
made
driving in the
solar
car,
power.
just wait for the street lights.
Oh my
Exactly.
god, I hated that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Trying to catch your game like every 15 seconds.
30 seconds. Yeah.
Jesus, dude. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Wait. That was a fun episode. We're over an hour in, man. Who'd have
Wow.
thought talking about handhelds would yield so
Wow.
much content? Wow.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's going to wrap it up for us in the third episode of the Modern Gaming Weekly podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Brown Baymax, go ahead and let people know where they can find you on the socials.
You could find me on Instagram, brownbaymax.tv, or on Twitter, brownbaymax_TV, or on Twitch as brownbaymax.
Great. And Bearded Jalapeno, where can people find you on the socials?
I am on the Instagrams, the Twitter, and the Twitch at Bearded Jalapeno.
Great. Hey, simple enough. And
Yes.
Bento Box Senpai, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter as Bento Senpapi and then on Twitch as Bento Box Senpai. I'm mostly active on those two platforms.
And
I
on
love
his
the Senpapi
OnlyFans.
name.
I
Or
can neither
Bento's
confirm nor
OnlyFans.
deny.
And then, of course, mine, just search the Able Geek, most active on Twitter. You can find me on Twitch here and there with some stuff gameplay late at night. Or follow the podcast on Instagram. Just search Modern Gaming Weekly Podcast, and we'll have some behind-the-scenes photos there, some of the work that goes into the show, and updates on future episodes as well. But I want to thank you guys for hanging out, and stay tuned for next week's episode. Later.
Later, nerds.
Later.
That